Hello guys, hope you all are well. So today we are going to study the topic reference line, clusters and trend lines in Tableau. Before implementing all these topics in Tableau, first of all we'll be learning that what are reference line, what are cluster and what are trends. And we must be knowing that where we need to implement each of them, that is reference lines, clusters and trend lines. So first of all we'll be moving toward reference lines. Now, a reference line is typically a line that is used to mark a special value on a region on an axis. That is, if we are doing any type of analysis, in that analysis, if we want to represent a particular value on any of the axis or any of the region, then we can show that value with the help of a reference line. We can also show some different level of information with the help of your minimum value, average, maximum, median via using this reference lines. Now how we are using it, you can see it here. We are taken a y-axis and we have one x-axis. Our y-axis and x-axis have the data of height and age groups. So what we are basically doing is we have the x-axis of age group and we are dividing that age group among three panels. The first age group will be of the people that are youngsters, the second age group of the people that are senior uncles, and the third age group of the people that are senior citizen. So what we basically want to do in this analysis, we want to check that what is the average height of each age group, and we want to analyze that do the average height of each age group is equal or they are unequal. So what we are doing is we will be finding this thing with the help of reference lines. So first of all, I had created a reference lines for the age group of youngsters. Now you can see that the average line above the head of this youngster will be showing you that this is the average for all the people, those are youngsters. Then we have created the average line for the senior uncles, and similarly we have created the average line for the senior citizens. Now this line is representing the average of particular age group. So hence what we can find, what we can find how we can find an insight from it, that is the average height of all the youngsters are higher enough than the average height of the senior citizens. So what we have taken out from this data or from this analysis, that the youngsters mostly have the more height than that of the your senior citizens, that is the person who have the ages above 60 years of age. So we can reach up to the analysis that when a person reaches to the age of 60 years, is height getting degraded. So for finding this type of analysis, we can use reference line, which is a different type of a value or different type of an insight we are getting from this chart. Now we can implement this thing in Tableau also. So I have shown you this data. In this data you can see we have created a chart, and this data is basically global superstore data, where what we want to analyze is that whenever a person is buying any of the product through an online source, from an online website, any of the person is buying any of the product, while buying the product he is mentioning whether he required that products in a critical time, he requires it fast, he require it with a higher priority or a lower priority. Now depending upon its priority, the person will be getting his product delivered at its doorstep. Now what we are checking, that according to the priority of a person, would he be getting the product at according to its priority? First thing. Now second thing what we want to check is that what is the amount of the days would it take to reach the product at the customer doorsteps according to their priorities. That is, if a person have selected priority as critical, then how many days it would take for the product to reach at his doorstep. And we have find that it would take average of 2 days for the person who have ordered the product with order priority critical. The person who have ordered the product with order priority high will be getting the product delivered within 3 days, average of 3 days, and medium will be getting the product delivered with the average of 4 days, and the person who have selected the order priority as low priority, and for that person he will be getting the product delivered within the average of 6 days. So it means if you are selecting any of the product with the critical priority, you will be getting your product delivered within less amount of days. But if you are selecting your priority as low, then you will be getting your product delivered within high amount of days, or we can say within 6 or 7 days. So here in this visualization, it is clearly visualizing us that the average of days with the help of these reference lines. So I think you might be getting that how that what we want to tell you about reference lines. If you got it, then in the next video we will be telling you that how we can implement it in the Tableau. So now next our topic is trend line. Now, as we have seen in the previous slide about reference line, that reference line are the custom values. It can be changing according to average also. You can change it according to minimum maximum value also, and you can change it according to any of the value that you want to show on x-axis or y-axis. Whereas trend line is not custom. It is defined with the help of a regression model with an algorithm. So trend line connects two or more data point representing a regression model of a data. That is, whenever you are working on a data and you want to predict any value from it, then you have to check whether that value is depending on any other attribute. If it is getting depending on any other attribute, then you create some model for it. According to that model, you will be predicting the values, and for predicting the values with that model, you need to make a line of best fit, and that line of best fit is called as a trend line. So you can easily visualize this in this slide only. First of all, trend line is basically being used in supervised learning under regression model, and the line that we create with regression line will also be called as a line of best fit. Now, whenever we are creating a trend line, there are two things that we need to learn of. The first thing is R squared value. The R squared value for your model that you are creating according to regression model, the R squared value for it should be near to 1, which means it should be near to, it can be equals to 0 0.9, 0 0.95, 0 0.97. It should be near to 1. If it is near to 1, what does it mean? It means that your model is well fitting the data. So if it will be near to 1, it means you are doing a better type of analysis. But if its value is very less than that of 1, it is near to 0.1 or it is near to 0.4, 0.5, it means your model is not well suiting your data. So you are taking a wrong assumption of selecting a model. Now, the second type of a value that we need to remember is a p-value, where p-value means it is the significance of the attributes that you are using in your model. So while creating your model, you are using various type of columns in it. Which column have the more significance, and whether the column that you are using in the model are of good significance or not, that are being told with the help of the p-value. If your p-value is less than 0.5, it would be good enough. But if your p-value is greater than of 0.5, it means the attribute that you are using for creating your model is of less significance. Hence, by using these two R squared and p-value, we'll be trying to make a good model, and with that good model, we'll be reaching to a better line of best fit, and with that line of best fit, we can easily predict the values. So that is why we create the trend line, so that in future we can create a model through which we can predict the values accordingly. Now you can see here in an example, we have x-axis and y-axis. On a y-axis it is weight, and on x-axis it is height. So what we want to do is, in this visualization, we want to check that whether weight of a person is dependent on a height of a person or not. That is, if height of a person increases, do weight also increases or not? And if someone tells me any height of a person height, then can I predict its weight or not? For this, we have taken a person, this is a person whose height is given, and we have seen that its weight is also less. Similarly, the next person, his height is somewhat above than the previous one, and its weight is also more. Similarly, the next one, and similarly the next one. So it means all, when we are seeing this one, in his height is very less and his weight is also less. Similarly, this one has height more and weight is also more, and this one have the more significant height and having the more weight. So it means when we are talking about the dependency, weight depends upon height, and if we will be taking that data and we'll be providing this data in our model, then our model will be giving us the value in the form of a line, and this is called as a linear line. this linear line will be showing me that some of the values are going above to this line and some are at this line and some are below this line, which will be showing me that how my model is fitting the values. Now with these values it will be showing me the confidence interval of this model. Now with this model it have shown me that R squared value for my model is 0.95. It means I am getting 95% accuracy of my model for this data, and p value is defining me that the attributes that I am using for creating this model through which I have got this line are also of high significance. Now with the help of this model, what we can perform is, if we will be getting the height of any person, we can predict its weight also. So with the height, with this height, if person having this height, then we'll be matching it is on this line, and according to this line it will be telling me that what will be the weight of this person, and hence we can predict the weight. So this is the way that how we can use your trend lines in various ways to find and to predict the values, where these dotted lines are the trend lines and this blurred portion is the confidence level of this trend line. Hope you got this trend line. Now we have implemented this model in Tableau also, and we have used a data set of windmill. Now this data set have the attributes that we are using is wind speed and power output, where what we are seeing is that the power output is dependent on wind speed. Now what we have is, we have a windmill. If the more amount of wind will be coming with a high speed, the power generated by a windmill will also be more. So it is very obvious that if more wind would be there, the shafts will be running fast, and if the shafts will be running fast, automatically the power output generated from the windmill would also be more, and that is the thing that we are seeing in this data also. So if the wind speed is less, the power is also less. If the wind speed is intermediate, power is also intermediate, and if the wind speed is high, power is also high. So that generates a linear type of a trend, and this trend is being shown with the help of this line, which is called line of Bestfield and trend line. Hence with this type of a trend line, if in future someone will be giving me the amount of speed, then I can very easily predict that what will be the amount of power that windmill will be generating. Hence we will be learning with this type of an example that where we need to implement trend line. In my next video I'll be showing you that how we can implement this trend line in Tableau. The next topic we have to study is clusters. Now what are clusters? Clusters are the group of objects packed in such a way that objects in same group are more similar to each other than to those in other groups. What does it mean? That whenever we are doing cluster, if we have a data which is a segmented data and is we are not aware of that data, then what we are doing is, on the behalf of its color, on the behalf of its shape, geometry, we can differentiate that data, and the one which will be similar geometry will be kept together, or one will be of similar color will be kept together, and accordingly we'll be creating different groups. So what we are saying, cluster is the mechanism in which we are creating the groups of objects packed in such a way that they are looking same or they are of same groups, and each groups will be differ to each other. So that is basically called cluster. Now clustering is basically used in unsupervised learning. As we have seen, trend lines is used in supervised learning. Clusters are basically used in unsupervised learning. Why? Because in unsupervised learning we are not aware of the class of the data, we are not aware about the data. So first thing that we have to perform is we need to check the geometry of the data. According to its geometry we will be dividing the data, and if we are dividing the data, and according to geometry, the one which have the same type of geometry will be kept in one group and other will be kept in other groups. So accordingly we'll be getting various clusters, and that will be helpful for finding the patterns. Now if the number of clusters also signifies the number of distinct groups we have. Now in this example you can see there are people of different face features, and there are people of different age groups. Now if I need to make a group of these people according to their age group or according to their face features, then might be they will be like working like this. These type of three age groups will be there, these type of three face features would be there, and if I have divided them according to their face features, and I will be getting these people are grouped together and named as cluster 1. These are grouped together and named as cluster 2, and these are grouped together and named as cluster 3. Hence, people are divided among among different cluster with the help of mechanism of clustering. This clustering mechanism can be worked with the help of we can say a distance method, or we can have make the method using a centroid mean method, and there are other methods which we can use for finding clusters. Now we can see that we have implemented the same type of a thing in Tableau also. So here what we have is, we have the data of iris. Iris is a flower. So according to that flower, we have taken its four attributes: the sepal length, its sepal width, petal length, and petal width. Using its sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width, what we are doing is we are creating a scatter plot of it. From that scatter plot, we came to analyze that when the data is being segregated, scattered, and we are finding the clusters have given me three colors. The one color is of blue, one is orange, and one is pink. Hence, it defines that these values of sepal length, sepal width, petal width is defining that these are the different species of flower. And orange are different species of flower, and pink are different species of flower. Might be this blue will be setosa, because iris have three type of species. So according to their we can say petal length, petal width, sepal length, sepal width, we have created three clusters, and these three cluster will be further on will be three type of species of the iris flowers. So this is how we can differentiate between the values, and this type of analysis is basically being done when we need to do association rules, when we need to do keep the things in groups together, as we are doing in market basket analysis. So if we need to make the grouping of the things together, and we need to we need to find the variation of various groups between each other, then we need to implement this type of cluster analysis. Now we'll be learning that how we can implement it in Tableau in our next video. So I hope that you will be getting the point that what are reference lines, what are trend lines, and what are clusters. If you like the video, kindly subscribe the channel, share the video, and like and comment over this video. Thanks and stay safe.